There is absolutely nothing wrong with gooning and liking hot characters in games. However, you should not write off an entire game just because you don't personally find a character attractive. Let's talk about it, shall we? Quite the odd way of starting a video, right? I'm not your father. I really have no say in your life, but I truly do believe that everyone of every persuasion, man, woman, or anything in between, should goon. You should have a character that makes you say, would. You should have characters that you hope to find in real life for yourself. You should want to visually enjoy mediums and be attracted to it, especially when a part of said medium is visual. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being attracted to things, as long as it's legal. Liking things is natural, it's realistic, it's human, and I truly believe that there should be nothing wrong with liking a thing for being a thing that fits in your personal niche of attraction, because that is just being human. However, upon saying this, I think in direct opposition, just because you aren't attracted to a thing doesn't mean you should write off the thing from the get-go. I suppose this is one of my more nebulous thoughts I have about the whole gaming industry, and something that really only pertains to terminally online people like I, that made me question what was going on when I started paying a little more attention to it. This is South of Midnight. The best way I can describe it, beyond what you're seeing on screen, is an early 2010s Xbox 360 Souls-like with a focus on narrative and platforming with a unique visual flair shaped around the mystical world of fantasy New Orleans. Now, I'm not saying Xbox 360 or 2010's game as some kind of slight or diss. Far from. Anyone who's played games during that time likely remembers quite a lot of Xbox 360 marketplace games quite fondly. Is this game without flaws? Far from. If this isn't your bag of game, you aren't going to like it. The frame rate is going to piss people off, even though it's done on purpose, and the combat gets rather repetitive, rather quick, with very little iteration past the midway point. All these are incredibly valid reasons on why you should skip it if it isn't your thing. So then why were some of the first comments when this game was announced focusing on the character's appearance and not the Spider-Verse-like frame rate, not the unique place the game takes place, not the mythical looking New Orleans folktales? Nope, her appearance. Now I do know a decent chunk of people complaining wouldn't have bought the game even if there was a nude supermodel as the main character. Looking at you Stellar Blade players who never actually played the game and just want to fap to Eve. Why would that be the first thing you're drawn to in a video game though? You could say, well, the first thing you're going to see is what the character looks like, so it should matter. Sure, not saying it doesn't, but shouldn't the focus be on whether or not it's a good to play? I've said this before and stand by it. Visuals are the least important parts of video games. Gameplay should always be king. And even beyond that, what if the visuals of said characters weren't made for you in particular? This next point is entirely an aside, and let it be stated quite firmly and clearly that I know it's purely anecdotal. The first time I saw a video game character I was personally attracted to, I was 20. I'm now 31 years old. I've been gaming since I was 5. It took 15 years through multiple consoles, generations of video games, genres of video games, and entirely different generations of graphical fidelity for me to finally see a character that made me actively excited and made me say, "Whoa." Said character comes from a title from a smaller indie studio that hates money, known as Vanillaware. No, seriously, why does this company hate money and refuse to release their stuff on PC? Maybe it's contractual, I don't know. Anyway, the game's Dragon Crown. For the people who have played that game, you're likely thinking of the obvious pick of the sorceress. Slim-waisted, buxom woman with jiggle physics so heavenly animated, it looks like it was sculpted by the gods. Turns out when you have a bunch of artists making video games, that's how it looks. That isn't new. We've seen that body type before. I mean, Lara Croft and Tifa Lockhart are right there. No, it isn't the sorceress, it's the Amazon. I like much other women, and it took 20 years before I had one that fit into my own personal interest and attraction to gaming. Shouts out to the Amazonians, a Futurama effectively shaping my taste, by the way. I understand and accept that my interest is not the societal norm. I know that up until a couple of years ago, if I had said anything like that, I would have been labeled as gay. Mind you, I am bisexual, but besides the point. The point is that there are different strokes for different blokes, and something that you personally might not find appealing or attractive isn't being done with the express purpose of pissing you off. But now we're starting to get way off topic, so let's circle back to the core of what and why this all started. There's nothing wrong with being attracted to characters in a visual medium. You should, but understand that just because a character isn't dolled up to the nines or fits your personal attraction doesn't mean the game isn't worth playing. I know I'm honestly just yelling into the void on this one, as the people who have this kind of mindset weren't ever going to anyway and aren't going to change. But as my name goes, I just want more people to enjoy this medium and branch out and maybe try something new. Maybe find something you didn't know that you would enjoy. Hell, I'm about to go play a game specifically made by furries who you know have not saved for work accounts on Fur Affinity because it's the only way I'm going to get to play a new Trauma Center game. Hornet doesn't look a thing like all the art fans have drawn up for her, but will that really stop you from playing Silksong? Tutorial is shaped like a goddamn bridge, as artists want to gaslight you to believing otherwise, but are you really not gonna play Deltarune over it? The latest chapter added a goddamn Iroh-like character who is the literal definition of peak fiction. The tagline does remain the same though at the end of the day. I just love video games, and I want to see more people play them. So go out there and do that, people. If you need me, I'll be finishing my plotting of Clair Obscure, finishing Hollow Knight for the very first time before jumping into Silksong. Still, can't believe that one has actually come out. It's kind of weird, huh? Now, when Bloodborne? Alright, you know what's going on here. My general ending of the video game thoughts that I do in every single one of these videos. No scripts, background noise, it doesn't matter. I don't care, because it's... yeah. Either way, so... anything particularly happening? No, I've been really keeping up on the video game news because I have no reason not to, I guess. Because I've been playing Hollow Knight. Game's really good. Honestly, I really do enjoy it, but... God. It's the pieces of bad in it that make me not like it as much, kind of thing, you know? I enjoy it, I'm having a good time, but it's just like, there's parts that are like, this doesn't need to be here. The game would have been fine not including this. But I'll go into that when I actually eventually beat it. So I guess the only thing to really talk about is how, what's it called? People are, not people, on concept with this whole gooning thing, that people are apparently complaining that you can't see, like, the upskirt of the female pro tag in the new Silent Hill game, based off, like, early renders and stuff, and it's like, are you guys, like, mentally okay? Why do you want to see the upskirt of a teenage girl? Especially when the entire point is that she was like, I'm pretty sure the main plot is that she was probably sexually abused as a character. Why do you want to look up her skirt? Can you guys just not be weird? I don't know. Either way, yeah, that's all I really had to talk about. Gonna be taking a major test on Tuesday. Hope I do well on that. I'm going back to studying for it, so I want you all to have a good morning, evening, day, or night, wherever you're at. But for right now, I am out. Later.